Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So before we get started, make sure to hit the like button, also subscribe to my channel. In this video, we will talk about tech for good, sustainable innovations for a better world. So make sure to watch the full video. 50 years ago in 1973, the world was a very different place. For one thing, there were just under 4 billion people on the planet in that year. I was one of them, age 17. Compared with an estimated 8 billion today, a 100% increase in half a century. The UN's latest projections suggest that the global population could grow to around 8.5 billion in 2030, 9.7 billion in 2050, and 10.4 billion in 2100. The resources consumed and emissions created by this greatly expanded population, particularly those who live in the developed world and plant the biggest ecological footprint, are the cause of climate change and biodiversity loss that could pose an existential threat to human civilization. In 1973, Earth Overshoot Day, the date when humanity's demand for ecological resources and services in a given year exceeds what Earth can regenerate in that year, fell on 1 December. In 2022, it was 28 July. Technology has changed beyond all recognition during the past 50 years. Back in 1973, mainframes and minicomputers still ruled the roost, with personal computers barely off the drawing board. The MITS Altair 8800 was a year away, while the Apple I didn't appear until 1976. The entire Internet, then known as ARPANET, could be mapped out on a single piece of paper, and later that year made its first international connection to Norway, while the World Wide Web wouldn't appear until 1989. The first ever handheld mobile phone call was made by Motorola's Martin Cooper in New York on 3 April 1973 on a handset weighing 4.4 ohms, 2 kilograms. Many other examples of startling progress over the past half-century could be cited for other tech sectors. What is consistent across this 50-year timeframe is that technological advancement does not in itself mitigate the effects of population increase and the distribution of resource consumption. Quite the opposite in many respects. Much of the tech created and used over the past 50 years has contributed significantly to global warming. Warning signs are now flashing all around the globe. The past 8 years were the 8 warmest on record. The past 2.5 years account for 10% of overall sea level rise since the start of satellite measurements nearly 30 years ago. Record-breaking heat waves were observed in many nations in 2022, and rainfall has been consistently below average in some areas, East Africa, and unprecedented in others, Pakistan. As the IPCC states in its Climate Change 2022 Impacts, Adaptation and Vulnerability Report, global warming, reaching 1.5 degrees Celsius in the near term, 2021 to 2040, would cause unavoidable increases in multiple climate hazards and present multiple risks to ecosystems and humans. Are we smart enough to deploy technology more effectively to help create a more sustainable global economy? And can we build and use technology more sustainably? These are the main questions covered from various angles in this ZNET in-depth special report. In the meantime, here's some more context. What is the fate of technological civilizations? In his excellent and accessible 2018 book Light of the Stars, Adam Frank, a professor of astrophysics at the University of Rochester, describes a mathematical model of how theoretical technological civilizations might respond to changing conditions on their planets. For simplicity, the model includes just 2 kinds of energy resources, one with high planetary impact, like fossil fuels, the other with low impact, like solar energy. At some point, rising planetary temperature causes a civilization to switch energy resources from high to low impact, and the model explores various outcomes for the planet's capacity to support a population of the energy-consuming species. After running multiple simulations, 3 kinds of trajectory were observed. Die-off, A above, where the population increases, overshoots the planet's carrying capacity, and then reduces until planet and civilization reach equilibrium. The soft landing, B, above, where an early switch to the low-impact energy resource allows a smooth transition to a sustainable equilibrium without overshoot or die-off, and full-blown collapse, both without energy resource switching, C, above, and in some cases with switching but too late, D, above. In the latter scenario, Frank writes, once the ball got rolling, the planet's own internal machinery took over. It wasn't coming back to the original climate state, and it took the civilization down with it as it ran away into a new state. Of course, we don't know which, if any, of these trajectories Earth and its human population might follow. Although high-resolution next-generation climate models based on exascale computing will help, but the warning signs are there, and it would certainly be wise to avoid dicing with the tipping points that can lead to full-blown collapse. However, global emissions are still too high. The IPCC estimates that 410 gigatons of CO2 were emitted between 2010 and 2019, leaving a carbon budget of just 500 GTO2 for the remainder of the 21st century to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. As of November 2022, global temperatures were about 1.2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels and heading for 2.4 degrees Celsius by 2100 under current 2030 targets. How does technology contribute to climate change? The environmental impact of ICT, information and communication technologies, has been covered in detail by the Shift Project, a French think tank that advocates a shift to a post-carbon economy, in a trio of detailed reports: Lean ICT, Towards Digital Sobriety, 2018, Climate Crisis, The Unsustainable Use of Online Video, 2019, and Implementing Digital Sufficiency, 2021. The headline conclusion from the Lean ICT report was that digital technologies, telecoms networks, data centers, terminals, and IoT sensors accounted for 3.7% of global greenhouse emissions in 2018, up from 2.5% in 2013, with energy consumption increasing by 9% a year. Just over half, 55%, of digital technology's energy consumption came from its use, and just under half, 45%, from its manufacture. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.